Aussie.
Hey, Thursday night. Man, did I eat my dinner too fast? Hey, Luke, you are indeed early. You are a bit early there in the stream. More power to you, son. More power. Thursday night, live. End of week 1 of Melbourne's lockdown and entering week 2 of Melbourne's lockdown. Yay. But yeah, it's Thursday night. Practically Friday night, practically the weekend. So here we go. Chris needs to take some trash out. That's like a metaphor, like he's been like an 80s action hero. Gonna take the trash out. And then he's going to shoot his neighbor. I assume his neighbor's not very nice. How are you doing tonight, Luke? Got my purple ice again tonight. My last bit of purple ice. Don't know if I'll make purple ice again. This is weird. If I can think of a reason to do it, I'll do it, I guess. Good, doing okay, Luke. Yeah, you know, one day at a time, man. One day at a time, moving on through. Chris, lockdown extension. Okay. Got to... Hopefully Chris doesn't actually shoot his neighbor. Annette, hello. Good evening to you. Welcome. Just sort of loosening up, getting in a party vibe. Having a drink with purple ice. I know, that's got the smokiness. So that's the one I made with the new Grony. God, I even forget which one that was. But it's supposed to have Campari as or Aperol as an ingredient. And for fun, I used the premix cocktail you got from Archie Rose that has Campari in it. It has this real smoky characteristic. So yeah. Nice, yes, Annette. In the middle of a lockdown, why not dress up for Formal Friday tomorrow? That seems like a thing. Luke, is what looks like on camera? So I don't know about which you refer, because there are many things on camera. Could be any of them. And it missed onesie Wednesday. The blue ice. I made it another one. That's the ice is made. You pour hot, it was boiling water in this case, on purple cabbage leaves, and the color comes right out of the leaves and colors the water, but doesn't affect the taste of it. And then you freeze that into ice blocks, and you get purple ice. Dingle Dirty, hello. How are you? It is fine evening, which I assume is morning for you. Just cruising on by. Just, yeah, it's like chill Thursday night, whatever, you know, take it easy. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And we will take it from there. What is... okay. Okay, Sarah. I was just checking one of the sort of functions on StreamYard to work out what it meant. You know, as a little thing comes up and go, what does that mean? So I had to check it out, and it's of no import. We shall leave the. And they've got a helpful little highlight thing like having issues. I went, yeah, I want to click on that. It's just everything's just a bit difficult and lockdown. It's a bit stressful. Yeah, I'm just having a lot of issues. Can you help me with that? I don't think that's what they mean. Maybe they do. Maybe they're just waiting to talk to us about our issues. Luke, take it easy. Great Eagles song. I will take your word for it. I'm not particularly familiar with the oeuvre of the Eagles. Not a genre of music I've ever been into. Jingle Daddy, starting to get some glorious summer weather. Nice for you. We had a really nice clear day. It was like, what was it about? When I went out for a walk in the afternoon, it was about 16 Celsius, which is not warm, but it's this beautiful blue sky, sunshine. So it felt okay. What was it today? What did we say, Bureau? Okay, now it's going to start raining. It's going to rain tonight and not get above 14 tomorrow. Excellent. And the same for Saturday and probably Sunday as well. But Monday might be nice. But then they're predicting rain and cold temperatures again next week, which is normal. We're getting into winter. It's normal. Oh, and Niggle Dirty been doing milk clarification experiments. Nice. And good evening to you, Raiders. I'm doing it. It is clarified, but it's not. Well, it's not a cocktail yet. I found this story on a website, Punch Drink, where I get a few ideas from time to time, and they're talking about this thing, doing the juice shake. Like normally, when you shake a cocktail with juice in it, you put the booze, the juice, and ice, and go shake, shake, shake. This one said, no, why don't you freeze the juice, and their recommendation is it's not just the juice. You have a little bit of sugar and spirit in it, so it won't freeze solid. It'll be semi-solid frozen, it'll be mushy. So then you don't add extra ice. You put this mushy frozen clarified juice in and shake the cocktail, and it'll melt and really chill the drink and give it an extra punch. So I'm going to try it tomorrow night. In the freezer, I have an ice cube tray of clarified pineapple juice, or a mixture that has a little bit of sugar syrup and a little bit of white rum in it that probably won't affect the taste. So I'm going to do a comparison tomorrow night and make the same cocktail once with pineapple juice and ice, and then once with the pineapple frozen. See how different they taste. Luke, I did actually leave the house for one of my 5 reasons today. Exercise. Went for a walk with Mrs. Angry. Annette, your weather app says it's going to rain for 2 weeks. Yes, it may well. It may well. I don't know. When it's this likely to rain, you don't know what to believe. Bureau is saying Monday might be nice-ish for June, but it might be cold and miserable and raining for weeks. Who knows? It's a mystery. It's probably going to rain a lot, but we'll see exactly how to. At least if shitty weather, don't mind being on lockdown so much. Summer lockdowns, that would not be good. Winter lockdowns, not great, but you can at least console yourself with, at least it's shitty outside. It's shitty outside, so that makes being inside more tolerable. Because not being allowed to go outside when the weather's nice, it's kind of sucky. Chris, what happened if they kept the distancing and master vaccine got out? Wouldn't happen. It was a hotel quarantine failure. Someone got out of hotel quarantine. I think they tested negative the second last day they were in quarantine. Someone else in quarantine did have the Rona. And it's that whole thing about how airborne it is. And it's like they both opened their doors at the same time and the guy got exposed. But he left Adelaide and came to Melbourne and infected a bunch of people. Firstly, it was just his family. I think his family were very busy. But they had jobs. They were out doing stuff. And so there's contact sites fucking all over Melbourne. I think there's 60 cases linked to this outbreak so far. But yeah, it's and it's all fucked because the federal government has absolutely fucked the vaccine rollout. It's like only 2% of the country is fully vaccinated. And like we're like the 100th in the world or something. So yeah, only 2% of the population fully vaccinated, and no purpose-built quarantine facilities. They're just in hotels which aren't built for disease control. Oh, Annette, the hotel across the road from your building is a quarantine building. That's a cheerful thought. Yeah, Hellion, hello, Kirsten. How are you this fine evening? So yeah, we are kind of stuck with another lockdown. Probably won't go past this week. I think there were only 3 cases today or yesterday, and they're all linked to known cases, which is a positive. So there we go. Musical Gravity, a day 13 test comes back tomorrow. With any luck, the person who went to Swordcraft didn't spread it to me. Yes, the nerds were all worried about Swordcraft. Well, Chris, I've got 1 jab, which gives me about 50% immunity, I think. And I won't get the second one for like 2 months because it's AstraZeneca. There's like a 3-month gap between first and second dose. Mrs. Angry has had both doses of Pfizer, and the rest of our household is young and probably won't be eligible for a vaccine before the end of the year, because that's how long it's going to fucking take with what the federal government's doing. What are you going to do? So, but at least having got a jab, if I were, and it's a real long shot that I'm going to contract. It's probably like, I'd have to be going out and about. I'm just not. The fact that I'm not going out and about reduces my chances of contracting COVID. I don't know, 1 in 500,000. If I was going out, if we weren't in lockdown, and I was going out and about, the chances of contracting it would be about 1 in 10,000. And that if you don't control it, if you don't control spread, those odds shrink exponentially day by day as it spreads and spreads, and off we go. Luke, I more often than not get a normal flu shot, and I did in fact get this year's flu shot a couple of weeks before I got my Rona shot. Matt, what's happening? So we're all sort of thrown. So Chris, you went to the store, workers except pharmacy had their masks off, but the customers had their masks on. It's weird that the people working there weren't wearing masks. But now it's mandatory to check in at retail. I never bothered to check in at retail stores because it's like, I'm only going to be here 10 minutes. But now it's mandatory. So like if I was ever going somewhere, like if I was going out for dinner or drinks or a movie, I would check in because you're going to be somewhere for a couple of hours. Going to check in. Oh, Chris, it's because they all had the shot. Okay. Yeah. I would still have employees wearing masks, honestly, whether they're all vaccinated or not. Kirsten got the normal flu shot on Monday. It's a good thing to get. You never know. So yeah, I got the flu shot this year. I got the flu shot last year. Did I get it the year before? Yeah, I think I got it. Yes, I got it the year before. I'm trying to, because it was always at workplaces. If I haven't been at a workplace that's doing flu shots for free, I'm like, yeah, free flu shot. Matt, sorry, that just made me laugh. I don't know that you intended to make me laugh. Is it mandatory to check in if you have the COVID Safe app? Yes, because the COVID Safe app doesn't work. It is mandatory in Melbourne to check in everywhere. You go into a shop, go into the supermarket, you check in. Yeah, COVID Safe app has never done anything for anyone. And I never got it for 2 reasons, because it was a federal government thing and 2-pronged. They have failed in every single technology thing they've done while they've been, and I mean everything. They failed every sort of technological solution to something. So I knew it wouldn't work. Second, they are absolutely untrustworthy with regards to data gathering. They're fucking Big Brother personified. Matt, you've been breaking the law. Well, the shops should have nudged you and said, big fella, check in. Because, yeah, if you weren't paying attention to the fine print, you would think, oh, those things, that's optional, checking in here. So, yeah, the stores should have nudged you, man. I'm not going to hold you a criminal for that. Chris, if you could send us vaccines, you would. Nice. Yeah, it is about time that there was no copyright on the vaccines, actually. Gotta hold up. This looks like one of those, I don't know what everyone else calls them. I grew up called them trough lollies. It's little discs of disinfectant that they put in urinals in men's public toilets. Big purple trough lolly in my drink. Luke would suggest delete COVID safe. I'd suggest you delete it. It's A, fucking useless, and B, the federal government's not trustworthy. Oh, did you miss my explanation, Chris? That's just use purple cabbage. There's some purple cabbage leaves and pour boiling water on it, and the color comes right out of the leaves and the water goes blue, and then you just put that in an ice tray. Purple ice. So, yeah. Yes, Annette, federal government tight asses paying for good tech people. Also, they're just incompetent. And they're definitely untrustworthy. You hear the shit Dutton keeps saying about the control they want over people. And it's agreeing it looks like a trough lolly. It does. It's the same shape and color. Well, some of them are yellow and some of them are orange. I've seen blue ones, though. But I have another drink. You know what I'm going to have? The special one. Chilling in the fridge. Chilling like a villain. The Tempest. Just give that a little mix. Mixy mix. Sit down nice. Probably should measure that, but I'll plonk that much in. That's a weird murky color now, because the Tempest cocktails are sort of murky orange. Speaking of ice, I'm making some. I got the little thing sitting upside down here. Hopefully, that will come out before the end of the stream. I think it's ready. I hope I'm not doing it too soon. Is Chris incompetent? They're not incompetent. They're just like the most infectious variant loose in the second largest city. Simple tiny mistake. Oh, it's just, but even the federal government's responsible for a whole bunch of aged care facilities. And in the second wave in Melbourne, there was a bad outbreak across a whole raft of aged care facilities. A lot of people died, and that was bad. So you'd reckon, right, after they told, and there was actually like a royal commission into the aged care and how badly the federal government fucked it. And the findings were they've really fucked aged care. So you'd reckon, even just from a political point of view, when the vaccine rollout started, and we said, we need old people vaccinated first, they would go out of their way to make sure all of the people in aged care were vaccinated. They haven't. Like less than half the people in aged care are vaccinated. It's just fucking pathetic. Hi, Celtic King. Musical Avedo. NBN developed new booking app for technicians and schedulers. Cost a few hundred of the technicians to go on strike because it's so shit. Reduced productivity by 5 times. God damn. Celtic King, have I tried amphetamines? Not tonight. Not tonight. But mind you, shockingly, it turned out at the state government level, it seems like a relatively small amount of emergency services staff have been fully vaccinated. And that's like ambulance drivers, paramedics, cops, etc. Yeah, it seems like a surprisingly low number, like less than half of them have been vaccinated, which is very strange. Oh, yeah, Chris, where you are, aged care got it first. That's how your mum got hers first. Yeah, but it's fucking... even like I said, it's obviously the right thing to do. But even just from a political point of view, the federal government had got so much shit for how badly they were fucking up the aged care facilities under their control. You reckon just to look good from a political point of view, they would have gone out of their way to make sure they vaccinated all the people. They fucking didn't. It's just there's such a fucking clown show. There are a smaller number of state-run aged care facilities, and they've all been vaccinated. It's just like, Jesus. It's like when we had the big outbreak and a lot of people died. It wasn't in the state-run facilities, it was in the federal-run facilities. It's fucking ridiculous. Hello, Abigail. How are you? On the cusp of the end of week 1, start of week 2 of our lockdown. Well, Chris, it's really interesting with this outbreak because it's now like Melbourne's had considerably more significant outbreaks than anywhere else in Australia. And I think the state government's sick of being blamed for it. So they've got their messaging on point since this one. First, making it absolutely clear this was a failure in quarantine in South Australia that caused it. Second, it's the federal government's complete failure to effectively roll out the vaccine and have purpose-built quarantine facilities as making everything so much worse. And they've been consistently messaging how the federal government's fucking up, which is good. Celtic King VD said vaccines are a satanic conspiracy. Yes, he's absolutely right. He's not a delusional moron. Sarcasm. Annette, your mum got hers when the doctor's clinic called her off to it. Nice. She lives in a well-to-do neighbourhood. Yeah, I went to one of the mass vaccination centres. Annette, okay, Abigail, how are you? Went through 6 odd months of lockdown and thrived. This 1 week is feeling lonely and isolated. You are not alone. I'm fine. But a lot of people are just going, no, actually, I feel like I'm being re-traumatized. This is feeling worse than last year's long lockdown. And I'm sure in years to come, there will be many scientific and medical papers written about exactly how people felt when this shit was going on. Chris, you've only been activated twice by Bill Gates since your vaccine. Fair enough. He's just Melbourne residents being punished for being overseas. He's very inventive. He only says the dumbest, most redundant talking points. So he's not a sad little boy. He's very insightful. Well, on the plus side, Abigail, I did note at the presses since yesterday, the folks at the presses, for the first time, have been saying very openly, we are confident this is only going to last 1 more week. They've never done that before. They've always said for any of the lockdowns, we're not going to make predictions. We're going to wait and see. This one, they've made a point of saying, while, there's unknowns and you can't really tell the future, they're confident that the lockdown will finish after this week. I mean, we'll still have restrictions. I don't know exactly what those restrictions will be, but we'll still have some restrictions. It'll probably be on venue capacities, gathering sizes, having people in your home, that sort of thing. Okay, this big thing of ice is doing physics on me and that it's just moving around and splashing my drink. Chris, that's a good tip. Keep wearing masks till vaccines get out. And this has been a salutary warning because like everyone else, pretty much everyone else, I stopped wearing a mask after, we had months of no cases. Like, oh, why wear a mask? It's like, it's just like that. Really infectious disease. And it goes from no cases to cases, just like that. So Ugh. Yeah, but it's the things just with hotel quarantine failures and whatnot. It's just mind blowing how the same mistakes keep getting made. I'm just like, really? We're doing the exact same fucking mistake again? Cool. Luke, our QR codes check-in's here to stay. No, there's no point. Uh, yeah, once the sort of caseloads go, I think for the actually rewind for like hospitality venues, pubs, clubs, bars, restaurants, cafes, etc. I think they should keep the check-in because people stay there for an extended period of time. So I think they should stay in place until there's mass vaccination. So, Chris, you're vaxxed, wear your mask, public indoors. It is polite. It is, and that's why masks have been in vogue forever in a lot of Asian countries. Politeness, respect for the collective rather than obsession with the self. It's like, oh, I'm sick. I might infect you. I'm less likely to infect you if I wear a mask. So, yeah. That is true, Chris. You are. And it's weird because until relatively recently, you would have sounded like a paranoid conspiracy freak. But we know for a fact that government agencies in the US are tracking everyone and monitoring everything. They don't listen to every single phone call. They don't follow it, but there are tracking stations that they can activate. And like they have essentially fake phone towers that are reading the data off the phones that connect to them. It's what's that called? Stingray. Yep. And until recently, you would have been regarded as a paranoid wacko. But we've had unequivocal evidence from people like Edward Snowden that the NSA is basically bulk surveilling everyone. That's just how the world is now. The only reason the Australian government isn't is because they're not competent enough. They are surveilling a lot of people in ways that are either not completely or not at all legal, and certainly a lot of people don't realize that it's happening. But ever since John Howard in the 90s, they've wanted to introduce thought crime, what they call anti-sedition laws, where they can arrest you and imprison you because you say things they don't like. You don't break any other laws or incite anyone else to break laws, but if you say things that they don't like, federal government are a bunch of fucking corrupt shithead police state wannabe cunts, they can arrest you. So, I mean, I guess I don't think the government should be overthrown. I just wish Labor were an effective opposition and they would win the next election. Maybe they will, maybe they don't. I don't know. Chris, Portland police is notorious for surveilling anyone who even looks like a protester. There was, God, hasn't there been a couple recently where the cops made stupid statements to justify kicking the shit out of people, and then after the fact went, okay, we admit we didn't have any evidence for that. We were saying they were plotting XYZ, literally no evidence for it. We shouldn't have said that. It's just like, oh yeah, Chris, absolutely that, and it does seem particularly bad in the US. If you piss off a cop, they'll arrest you. It's like if you don't abase yourself before cops, they'll arrest you. It happens to a degree here, not as much as the US. Although it was funny this week, one of the anti-mask, anti-lockdown fuckwits got arrested by the cop, including charging with assaulting cops. And I think they've got photo and video evidence of him actually swinging at cops. He's getting jail time. He's getting jail time for the amount of charges they're piling up against him. So sad, so sad. Safa, good evening to you, sir. This is my red. Too much red cordial. Did anyone's ever heard, like, I'm sure it's an urban legend that red cordial made you hyper. It's just sugar. You give kids too much sugar, they have a lot of energy. But it was a thing. There was a red cordial, definitely had some additive in it that would make you hyper. And I even remember a punk zine called Too Much Red Cordial. Safa, how about that 12-year-old boy and 14-year-old girl shooting cops in the... I did not hear that story. That story seems very strange. Now I'm going to go and look at a news site. COVID disaster payments, federal government, blood clots, ABC. Ben Robert Smith launches proceedings against ex-wife on eve of trial. Good Lord. The accused war criminal. Pete Dutton is a piece of shit. Coronavirus, Victorian lockdown, exposure sites, world. Here we go. Netanyahu, piece of shit. WorkSafe New Zealand. Emails about Anthony Fauci, damaged ship. Wild foxes reclaim abandoned rising installation as festival falls. We were due to have a really big art festival just when the fucking lockdown hit. That's fucking gutting for the people involved. Technology, entertainment. Okay, I got to say that story about kids shooting cops didn't make the major headlines. Now, Abigail, I couldn't absolutely ascertain this, but I am reasonably sure that story about the colouring in red cordial affecting people is completely false, was shown to be completely false. It was accepted wisdom for a very long time, but I'm reasonably sure, although I'm more than willing to be corrected, but I'm reasonably sure it was shown to be completely false. Yes, Safi, you're lucky. You in regional Vic, you're free from us filthy, diseased Melbourne people. Okay. Just spilled it on my shirt. Do you like this shirt? Okay, it's another of my shirts. This one's very abstract. But what I like about it, the abstractions, like I think they're like birds, but they're so abstracted. I think they look like martini glasses. So this is my martini bears. Ooh, Kirsten, Echuca Distillery put out an agave spirit. Nice. And Shields is here too. Hello. Right, now I have to look that up. Echuca Distillery. USA police shooting. Cops kill a 16-year-old at house party. Yeah, that story you referred to, Safra, about teenagers shooting a cop. I don't know that that's real. It's not showing up on any searches. Oh, Among Us on Epic last night to claim it free. Oh, actually 3 different agave spirits. Let me look at Echuca Distillery. The Magic Shop. Let's just go to the shop. Okay, so Echuca Distillery sells bronze agave spirit, gold agave spirit, and silver agave spirit. Okay, now I have to look at that. So gold is like Reposado. Okay. Mexican-inspired spirit produced from high-quality agave nectar, double distilled at our award-winning Echuca Distillery. Gold is lightly oaked, exhibiting crisp honey and aroma together with sweet vanilla, smoky undertones. Drink neat or make a stunning margarita. Handcrafted in Echuca, Victoria. It's the bronze agave spirit. Made from high quality agave. Unaged, freshly distilled spirit containing native botanicals, wattle seed, pepperberry, and saltbush for a delicious Aussie twist. Drink neat, on the rocks, or in a bespoke cocktail. Let's see what the alcohol content is. And there's silver agave spirit. Unaged, freshly distilled with a crisp, earthy, honey-like aroma. Drink straight on the rocks or in your favorite cocktail. So, Kirsten, do you rate the Echuca distillery? Big thing. Safra is on SBS. Well, it's really weird. It is not showing up on the news site when I search it. Matt, I definitely remember Corey Worthington, the party boy, wouldn't take his glasses off. When a current affair tried to humiliate him on TV, first, a contemptible act for an adult with a massive broadcast TV show trying to humiliate a fucking teenager and fucking ruin their life. That's a contemptible act to start with. But second, they're also too pathetic to do it. Corey Worthington absolutely had the upper hand with them, and he came off looking much better than they did. So it's ridiculous. First, it's absolutely contemptible that a major TV show would try and do a hatchet job on a fucking teenager. And second, it's super fucking pathetic that they couldn't even do it effectively, and he fucked them over. So Kirsten, you love the Navy strength from Echuca. Some of the other spirits a bit hit and miss. Yeah, I mean, kudos to them for experimenting and doing an agave spirit. For those who don't know, that means it's essentially their version of a tequila. You cannot call a spirit tequila unless it's made in specific areas of Mexico. But it's from the agave plant. So they've done, their spin on a tequila, basically. Maybe I'll wait for someone else to review it. Yeah, another Victorian distillery, and show the locals some love. Vodka Flight. What else do they make? Yeah, it's like, okay. Oh, they do a butterfly pea flower, aka purple gin, a dry gin, and a navy strength gin. Silver at the Australian Gin Awards. $78. 57% alcohol, so pretty punchy. Navy Strength Gin, Yuzu and Ginger Gin, Philadelphia Hibiscus Rose Gin, Cucumber Twist Gin, Savory Saffron Gin, Port Barrel Aged Gin, Musk Rose Vodka, Anise Vodka, Lemon Myrtle Vodka, Negroni Gin Cocktail. I'll bugger that off because it's probably too bitter for me. A chocolate liqueur. Oh, it'll be interesting. See if we can get any decent reviews of their agave spirit to see if it's any good. Be fun to have an Australian. What was that fucking noise? It was the ice. It's a cracking noise. Very off-putting. So what's this? They've got a Pavlova Pash cocktail package, and it contains butterfly pea flower passion fruit gin, lemon myrtle infused vodka, a passion fruit syrup, and a vanilla syrup. That's kind of like a porn star. Anywho. Luke, you've been on a live stream. Nice. Lee, hello. Second live stream as a 30-year-old. Nice. Well, no, Abigail, I get the joke. A sparkling agave spirit. It's not sparkling. It's just an agave spirit. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I just saw Kirsten. You said the same thing. It's basically a porn star. Yes. We both recognize that. And Annette's been eating indulgent, rich food. I've been having largely meal replacements, but I have been having sort of one meal a day that's not. I had this loaded fries thing the other day. Had a chicken thing that I made myself yesterday. Had dumplings tonight. So I'm like 1 out of 3 meals is at least slightly decadent, and the other 2 have been meal replacements. So I'm still trying to be good. Not losing as much weight as I want to, so I should maybe behave more. Shannon, good evening. But yes, I've been, still on the weight loss journey, but I think maybe for the last week or 2, I'd been backsliding a bit, just having a bit more decadent food, and so I stalled a little bit. So I'll probably try and be a bit more strict. And see, hello, Toby on Facebook. Luke, you're 35 on the 11th of June. Happy early birthday. You got just over a week. Oh, Friday night for your birthday. Well, that's a good night for a birthday. Make it a party night. Oh God, what's this fucking red thing on my computer? Updates? How many fucking updates does fucking Microsoft want to do? Yes, I get that absolutely, Annette. Having more indulgent food makes lockdown a bit more interesting. I'm completely on board with that. Like I said, been mixing things up. Kirsten thinks you think you're 35. It's just a state of mind, really. It's just a number. It's just a number. What are we even worried about? $11th of June. Yeah, 11th of June's a Friday. I'm not 100% sure what you're saying you think to, Luke, but Abigail, massive Windows update on the horizon. Not sure the time frame things will change. Okay. I like that, Kirsten. Lie about your age so often you forget. Fair enough. Why not? I mean, not so much lying about my age. I don't put my age on my resume. You can tell if I color my hair, like, because I haven't colored my hair in about 14 months. If my hair is suddenly colored, that means I'm in the job market and I'm combating ageism. Kirsten usually tell people you're 27. That's fair. And Shieldsy, on eBay, been shopping for security cameras for your Nana's place, right about going away when they go grey nomad. Oh, well, there you go, if it gives peace of mind. I got these friggin' lights I ordered online today to upgrade my fairy lights behind me, and it's got the wrong plug on it. So I'm going to have to find an adapter, which I think won't be too hard. It's just this two-prong thing, which I assume is Chinese because it's come from China. I need an adapter so I can use it. Alexander, on the subject of age, grandmother told everyone she is 32 until her son was also 32. Nice. Good on her. That's bold. I like that. A bold move. I remember a band from my youth in Sydney. They never made it big, but they used to play the venues for, quite a few years. And it was Johnny Teen and the Broken Hearts. And he was a teenager when he formed it, but they stayed around for years, so he's no longer a teenager. So from every year, he on his birthday, they do a gig that they would call his annual 19th birthday. So, his 20th birthday was his second annual, 19th birthday, 21st was his third, et cetera, et cetera. Did that all through his 20s, which I thought was kind of fun. Safra, I know they have a two-pronged plug in Europe, but this didn't look like a European one. Might be, though. I just have to find an adapter. Shieldsy, women stop getting older when they hit 22. That's what your mum told you. Nice. I'm confused by that, Shannon. You turned 21 the same year your grandmother did. That's confusing to me. Oh, what are you up to? I should drink some water. See, look at you. You didn't even prompt me, Shieldsy. I'm drinking water. I'll keep my purple ice in my glass. You see how the ice is reduced. It's less than half the size when I started. Ah, nice. I like that, Shannon. Grandmother was born on the 29th of February, so the 21st time she celebrated on the 29th of February was your 21st birthday. Nice. Nice. Man, I hope this ice has still got an hour. I think this ice will be coming out before the end. We'll go to ASMR. It sounds really good with my nails on it. Okay, there's just a little bit of ASMR for you. I don't know why I wanted to do that. Toby, you want to be eternally 25? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things about getting older that suck, like your metabolism slowing down and your knees giving out. It's what I'm experiencing anyway. But I don't know, I just try and be happy with who and where I am. I don't really idolize any age I had. I just, focus on trying to be as positive as possible. This would be another good one. This could go on my ASMR video. Oh, it is right. I can actually see air bubbles and they're in the right place. Excellent. I've timed this really well. This with my cocktail ASMR to go along with stirring drinks. Nice resonance there. I like that as an idea, Shannon. Do an ASMR of me reading Go the Fuck to Sleep. Yeah, I always thought about doing on like one of my angry rants, like prepare a script and stuff, but instead of them shouting, just whisper, like, just whispering into the stereo mic going, fuck Peter Dutton. He's a fascistic potato. He's a piece of shit. Fuck that guy. Toby, you want to go back with the experience and knowledge you have now? I don't know. I think you'd fuck it up. But that is a common thing. People have said that for ages. I wish I knew then what I know now. No guarantees you'd be any less stupid, though. That thing about wanting to go back to 25 is when you've got a few years on you and you go, man, I was a fucking idiot. I was a fucking idiot when I was 25. Thought I knew everything. Oh my God. Now I do know everything. So I want to go back and it's usually that kind of vibe that it's just like, it's when you get to the age where you realize, God, that period where I thought I knew everything and I was just a fucking idiot. You want to go back and fix things. Matt, that would be a pretty goddamn good idea, wouldn't it? Going back in time and investing in Bitcoin. Yeah. Just one of the many things in the last 30 years that I've missed. Not least, even just investing in property. Like, if I'd when I'd first moved to Melbourne like 25 years ago, if I'd made a concerted effort to get into real estate, 20 years ago, most real estate was so fucking cheap compared to now. But yeah, Abigail, the things you can do now wouldn't have been able to do when you're young, and you'd be miserable. Time travel's a white cis straight man's game. Yeah, well, the whole joke is the whole thing of like, why no time travelers are black, because they'd never want to go back before about 1975 at the most. And it would AZ graces with his new hospital story soon. Hopefully, he wanted to. So we'll see if we hear from him in the coming days. And Kirsten's trying to deal with 25-year-olds at work. Yeah, that would suck. Safa, the reason housing has gotten so expensive is the bullshit tax incentives, particularly pushed by the Liberal Party. It's a fucking crime. There should be no tax incentive to own more than one property. It's absolute bullshit. Safa, I don't know what $500 you're talking about. If it's COVID assistance, no, because I'm still working and getting paid. Dingle Dirty, best career for a time traveler would be plagiarist. Think of the music you could make a mint off. Oh, yeah, nice. Toby wants to have the body of a 25-year-old and the mind and knowledge of a 50-year-old. Yeah, it's just sadly, I think most people have far less knowledge and wisdom than they think they do. Myself included. Don't want to act all superior on that one. I think we're all a bit prone to overestimate our intelligence and what we would do given the opportunity. So just for fun, what is Bitcoin at the moment? In November 2013, it went from 350 to 1,200. And then it bottomed out after that, saying in April 2014, it was between 340, 530. March 2017, it was 1,300. Let's have a look. Wikipedia's history of Bitcoin. So for its first year, it's like basically nothing. 2010, it's less than 1 cent for a Bitcoin. 2011, it was about $1. 2013, it jumped. 2014, it dropped. 2017, it jumped again. Went from 1,300 to 2,000 to 5,000 to 8,000 to 18,000 to 20,000, and then it bottomed out, and then it dropped as low as, so 2017 it was $20,000. 2020 it was as 2018 it was as low as 3,300. So some people got burnt really badly there, and then it just fucking shot up. 2040. So yeah, they're saying at April 2021 it was 60,000. In May it was 38,000. But what is it at the moment? What's the price done? Okay, Bitcoin price index. What is it at the moment? 40,000. So after, wow, that's just in the same day. It went from what? 36,000 to 39,000 in the same day. Wow, volatile much? Wait, how can I get it for a longer period? That's just one day. Oh, here we go. 1 year. So yeah, okay. Shit, saying in July 2020, it was only $9,000, and then it ratcheted up to over $60,000 in April this year. Fuck, it's halved. Well, not quite halved, but 36,000. Wow, it's dropped precipitously. Maybe now's the time to invest. Derry's dirty little secret. Hello. Shieldsy, what's happening in Melbourne is house prices are going up, but apartment prices, particularly city apartment prices, are going down. And yes, Abigail, right, every time Musk tweets something, markets fluctuate a lot. It's very, very volatile, very unsafe as an investment. Hasn't stopped me toying with the idea, but come on, Ice, you can do it. Come out of that. You know what? A new genius thing I came up with. See, I have this thing to make balls of ice, but this makes cloudy balls of ice. But if I stick this in here, it should make clear balls of ice, which would be cool. But this kind of sticks out the top, and I don't have it's too tall for my shelf space. So I tried, like I got some knives. I tried to cut this in half, so I could do it with like 2 ice balls. And I don't have any knives that are good, and I don't have a saw. If I had a bandsaw, I could just go, yeah, and it'd be done. But that's another brilliant theory I have, to have sexy, clear balls of ice. But that's the plan. I've got to find some way to cut those. Oh, yeah, I see what you're asking, Safra, about where Abigail's Towers in that strict lockdown. No, that really savage lockdown was different ones. But we were all locked down to some degree, of course. Shieldsy, try and find a place for sale for under 400,000 Southeast Queensland. Try and find a place under $1 million in Melbourne, and that's in the far distant future. Sorry, far distant suburbs. A place in my suburb, I think it's a 5-bedroom house, went for 2.5 million. And this is not a very trendy suburb. 2.5 million for a family house. Like, it's not a mansion. It is not a mansion. But 2.5 million. But even in the outer suburbs, houses are like $1 million. It's ridiculous. But city apartments have gone down. Okay, well, now making this as a product, put it on Kickstarter. You can buy shaped molds that will. They're these huge insulated things that make either 2 big cubes or 2 big spheres, and they take up a lot of space. This takes up less than a quarter the space of one of these freezing things. Yes, Kirsten, I want sexy clear balls. And I shall have them, damn it. I just need like a bandsaw to cut my balls in half. And then I can do it. Yes, innuendo about balls. So it should be illegal to have houses that expensive. Well, you can't really control that. But like I said, there should be no tax incentives whatsoever for investment properties. There should be no tax incentive at all for having more than one property. And in fact, people should be charged capital gains taxes on those fucking investment properties. So Shieldsy, on your island, 3-bedroom house for 160 to 250,000. Downside's transport. Yeah. Well, like I said, the neighborhood where I live, a nice family house, like not a big one, not a mansion, not anything, just a nice family house, 2 million plus. Yes, Abigail, housing should be a human right. The idea that some people aren't provided housing is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's contemptible. And there's no need for it. It's ridiculous. There's an oversupply of housing. It's fucking bullshit. It's just this ridiculous idea of who deserves housing. It's a ridiculous fucking narrative. So far, I'm not far from your sister's share house. Yeah, I mean, a lot of share houses are only. It's happening. Sorry, now I'm fixated on this bit of plastic on here from where I was. You wouldn't be able to see it. The thing's not that high res. I got a little bit down here with a knife trying to cut through, but it's like, man, that just does not want to cut through. I got 1/10 of the way through. Very frustrating. I thought maybe, one of those. I want one of those magic knives they have on the infomercials, and just go, they cut a shoe with them. I just want to go. I would cut myself so badly if I had a really sharp knife around, I think. Because I'm clumsy. So although, you get this saying that you're more likely to cut yourself with a blunt knife than a sharp knife, because, the idea is a blunt knife, it won't cut properly what you're cutting and it will slip and you'll accidentally cut yourself. It's like, I get that, the theory, but, a sharp knife that'll just like slash, I would fucking slash myself. No two ways about it, because I'm fucking clumsy. Abigail. Hi, clumsy. I'm Abigail. Nice. That should be my purview, the dad jokes. Safa, when was negative gearing created? Good question. When was negative gearing introduced in Australia? Been available for much of the last century, only widely used by property investors since the 1980s. But yeah, there's all these different fucking tax write-offs for property investors, and there should be. I'm very firmly of this opinion. There should be no tax incentive whatsoever for multiple properties. It's just an incentive for rich motherfuckers to price everyone else out of the market. It's bullshit. So yeah, you end up with this weird thing about, there's someone with a meme today. It's like, the bank thinks I can't pay a $900 a month mortgage, so instead I'm paying $1,400 rent a month. It's the whole system is bullshit, man. It's bullshit. What's the time? Oh, it's only just after 9. I think I'm going to behave myself and not drink more alcohol. But I'm just trying to decide if I want water or fizzy drink. Safa, that question is not answerable. How much is mortgage payment for 2 weeks? It's not a mortgage. It's how much is the mortgage for? So if I put like mortgage, here you go, mortgage calculator from home loan calculator. Work out the numbers. Income before tax, say 203. See, this bank is saying if you've got an income of $200,000, you could potentially borrow 1.5 million with a minimum, but that means you also have to have saved $400,000 deposit, and then you're purchasing a $2 million property, and that's so on a $1.5 million mortgage, which if you're in Sydney or Melbourne, that's cheap, is $6,000 a month repayments. So if you could borrow $1 million, so if you had $1 million mortgage, that's more like $4,000 a month. So there you go. $1 million mortgage is about $4,000 a month. So for my kids saving up for a house, not yet. They're Zoomers. They expect the world to end. Chris, you're thirsty too. You need a non-alcoholic drink. I like this mango one, actually. Ooh, maybe I'll put some mango and a bit of pineapple juice. Yeah, that sounds like a fucking taste treat, doesn't it? Let me, Just gotta rinse my carbonation tube, fill it with water. Just get this ASMR that sounds like I'm peeing off camera. Maybe I am, you don't know. I used to do that in the blog TV days. Be drinking Pepsi during the stream and really need to piss, and I just it became a joke where I'd do it just below camera angle. Okay. This. What's this? The Nazgul screaming. Where did I put the... there's the mango one. Okay, so... orange mango. I think I'll put a bit of pineapple juice in too, because I had an open thing of pineapple juice. Just a little bit. Oh, makes it fizz up. All right. Remember Blog TV? Yes, Abigail the Nazgul scream. Did I miss Kirsten? Aldi has a travel catalogue. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. What sort of travel catalogue did Aldi have? Suffers the world messed up compared to the 80s today. Depends what you're comparing. 80s had its old problems. We all thought we were going to die in nuclear war. Get another big block of ice. And the big ice cube tray. Put that in there. Put that back in there. Oh, God, here we go. More ASMR with the fizzing and the ice cracking. All these different ASMRs for drinking. No, Safa, was the last year? I don't understand the question. We could still have a nuclear war anytime. There's still a ridiculous amount of nuclear weapons around the world. You know, we've got Russia, China, US, India, Pakistan, Israel. Are there other nuclear powers? I don't think North Korea is. People make up a thing about North Korea. I don't think there is. Aha. Now the purple ice is down the bottom of the glass. Chris, I agree. Nuclear weapons technology is horrible. What the fuck is up with humans inventing stuff like that, honestly? Chris, you're saying North Korea does have nukes? I don't think they have any reliable delivery system, though. Who knows? Who knows in the shadowy world of international politics what's going on? So I'm just... God, this is a gross thing from the mouse play going on. Bloated cod fish regurgitate mice. So mice are falling into the water and the fish are eating them. Okay, because I'm really intrigued by this story Safa was saying. Look up the SBS News site. SBS News. Stop with the pop-ups. Hong Kong. Gaza crisis. West Papua. That's a bit nightmarish. Okay, I'm gonna Search the SBS website. Just in world coronavirus. Blah, 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 blah. Where is search? Why would you fucking hide search? Why would you not have search? That's ridiculous. Why would you not have a search function on a news site? It's fucking ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. What fuckwit did this? They don't have a search function on their news site. What fucking moron? What absolute fucking moron designed this? This is ridiculous. So that's my hot take for tonight. The SBS News website is run by fuckwits. What sort of fuckwit doesn't have a search function on their website? Abso-fucking-lutely ridiculous. Well, that's fucking stupid. Shields, you miss when YouTubers did group calls on Skype. Oh, Safi, you actually sent it to me on Messenger. Let me check. That is not what I meant to do. Click the wrong thing. Right. So. Nettie posting the fish eating mice story with eel on Facebook. Okay, so this was reported on CNN. 12-year-old boy, 14-year-old girl broke into a home, found weapons, opened fire on deputies, sheriff says. In Florida, they shot a 14-year-old girl on Tuesday night after she and a 12-year-old boy fled a group home, broke into a house, found multiple guns inside, opened fire on deputies, according to the sheriff. Girl was shot in the abdomen and arm and is in a stable condition. The boy surrendered and is not injured. I'll just put a great big asterisk next to that and say, let's wait to see if we find out the cops were lying about what happened. So we shall see. All right. No, I was just looking at that. Nothing else. Hey, nobody. How's it going? Yes, Annette, that sounds like a famous 5 book gone very wrong. 5 go mad and open fire on the cops. There's a old BBC comedy series that had a lot of people from the young ones in it. The Comic Strip Presents, and they had a couple of famous 5 spoofs. One was 5 go mad in Dorset, and the other one was 5 go mad on mescaline. Very silly humor, sort of 80s alternative humor. I haven't watched them in a while. I think I've got them on DVD somewhere in there. And in fact, I borrowed the DVD from a friend. Never gave it back. Never asked for it back. And I think there's a bunch I haven't watched. Abigail, the famous 5 are children's books written by Enid Blyton in the early to mid 20th century. And it's just, I don't know, like private school kids who go off and have adventures. 2 boys and 2 girls. And yeah, it was just things about rich English kids. The the line I always remember, because the famous five, the Enid Blyton books here, they'd have all these adventures and whatnot. And so in the thing Five Go Mad in Dorset, they're having this big adventure when they're on a camping holiday to Dorset. And the one line I remember, because they meet this local boy, that the sort of boss of the famous five. Oh, the fifth of the famous five is their dog, by the way. It's two boys, two girls, and a dog. That's the famous five. The leader of the famous five, Julian, who decides he doesn't like this local boy, and the boy gets kidnapped by shadowy figures. And so the other boy in the famous five says, Julian, Toby's been kidnapped. And Julian goes, well, serves himself right. That's what he gets for being nouveau riche and Jewish. It was that weird non sequitur that stuck in my head. Ah, yes, Annette, the Young Ones theme, the old Cliff Richard song, The Young Ones. When Cliff Richard sings it, it's like a 60s crooner pop song, but the theme for the TV series was done as sort of like, post-punk sort of pop thing. But Cliff Richard, oh, once in every lifetime comes a lot like this. I think there was a Cliff Richard movie called The Young Ones. I'm not sure. Actually, now I'm going to look it up because we're on the fucking internet. The Young Ones movie. Yes, The Young Ones in 1961. Yes, it was a Cliff Richard film. And The Shadows. So that was a film from like 1960. That can't be the plot. What was the movie The Young Ones about? Someone's written, in a future where water is scarce, a farmer, Michael Shannon, defends his land and hopes to rejuvenate his parched soil. However, his daughter's boyfriend schemes to steal the land for himself. That can't be what the film really was. I think someone's not to be confused with the Young Ones TV series. It's a musical. Stories about a youth club member and aspiring singer who try to save their youth club in London's West End. Yes, what was that fucking thing that was on Google? Someone's taking the piss. Oh, that might be The Young One. No, that's a Louis Burnell film. Anyway, weird. Yeah, and that's for whatever reason, when they invented the TV series The Young Ones, they decided that Rick, the character who fancied himself as a leftist revolutionary, would be absolutely obsessed with Cliff Richard, who's like the most uncoolest figure ever. And this weird guy who thinks he's really cool is absolutely obsessed with Cliff Richard. Sorry, no, but I missed your comment. You off topic, but you took Grasshopper's advice and watched Ginger, Jinjer. Funny as hell, damn good too. What have I watched this week? I watched Bo Burnham's new special, Inside, which is on Netflix, which is something he recorded last year inside a room. And it took him like a year to make, and he deteriorated a bit over the course of the year. The staging of it is stunning. It's just him in a room experimenting with lighting and the cameras and whatnot and doing stuff. The staging of it is absolutely stunning. It was funny, like when I've talked to him before, but like, because one of my favorite sort of comedy specials ever is his one from about 4 years ago, Make Happy, which I think is just, again, the staging is amazing, but it's, in big live venues. And it's like the show is technically perfect and structured, but it's also funny as hell. And I often compared it to Nanette, which got hyped around the same time. And I think Nanette is a brilliant piece of theatre that has some good jokes in it, whereas Make Happy is a brilliant piece of theatre that's mind-blowingly funny. It's really funny, but it's also really touching. And that's a good description, Abigail. Inside is depressingly funny, because Bo seems to be having a bit of a breakdown over the course of the year. But what he's done with the staging, it's like classic old school YouTube drive of, I'm just here in this room and I'm writing and producing this all myself. What can I do? And the staging and what he does with the lighting is absolutely mind-blowing. It's not as funny as Make Happy, but it's a stunning piece of work, and there's some very funny stuff in it. Annette, your daughter loves these songs. He's a really good songwriter. There are a couple of really good songs inside. But he's done so much over, like, he first started to get famous on YouTube about 14 years ago. He was a very early YouTube star. And then when he did the Make Happy, he was suffering really bad anxiety and he stopped performing live, but like about 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, what did he do in the intervening time? He's done some acting in major films. He wrote and directed an incredible film called Eighth Grade, which is about year 8 in American schools, and it's absolutely amazing work for a guy in his late 20s to make a film centered on a girl in 8th grade and have 8th graders or women who'd been through 8th grade go, oh, that's real, that's very real. I mean, that's amazing in my book. So he's done a bunch in the intervening 5 years, but he hadn't performed live. And there's a thing he does at the start of Inside, the new special. He's like pretending to be in front of an audience. He's going like, and he says how he hadn't performed for 5 years because of anxiety. And he said, so at the start of 2020, I decided I should start performing live again. And then a funny thing happened. So he spent a year inside deteriorating. And this is the thing with him. It's very hard to tell, like when he appears to be deteriorating, and he says he's deteriorating really badly, it's difficult to know if that's sort of like literally true or if that's performance or if it's a mix of the two. Because that's a big thing in Make Happy. He makes a big point of saying, this is artificial. This is not real. This is lies. Like when I say I was down at the shops the other day, that's not true. I just use that as a setup to say something that I hope is funny. So when he talks about breaking down, I mean, everyone did do a degree last year. Or it was weird. Last year, at the very least, was weird for everyone. Sorry, I just thought I saw something. Going crazy. So when he has these bits in the news special where he basically says, like, he's not well, it's like, is that true or is that theatre or is that a bit of both? It's hard to know. So I'm not talking, well, Aidsy certainly had a rough time last year for different reasons than most people. Aidsy's always got it rough for various reasons. But no, I'm talking about Bo Burnham. Yes, an amazing performer though. Writes great songs, stages things amazingly. And yes, the new special on Netflix, Inside, well worth watching. Not as funny as Make Happy, but he's not trying to be as funny. It's a performance, and it's amazing. It's amazingly put together. He did it completely on his own. No camera operators, no director, no producer, nothing. Just him in a room over the course of a year, writing and performing and staging and editing this material. It's quite amazing. I'm going to watch it again, probably with subtitles on, because I was sometimes missing the lyrics and songs and whatnot. So I just sat through it once. I deliberately didn't put subtitles on, even when I was worried I was missing some of the lyrics, because timing is really important in comedy, and subtitles absolutely fuck up, for me at least. Subtitles absolutely fuck up the timing in comedy. But I am definitely going to watch it again with subtitles on. So I'll pick up stuff I missed the first time. But yeah, just the visuals of what he achieves in this one room, just using lighting, is fucking amazing, quite honestly. And yeah, it took him a year to put it all together. And I think whether he intended to or not, like, he doesn't have a haircut or shave for the whole year. So he's got really long hair and a really shaggy beard by the end of the year. So there's a visual sort of deterioration over the course of the year, as well as potentially his mental state over the course of a year. But he really plays with storytelling and is very meta about what's going on a lot of the time. So, yes. But don't watch it if you don't want to watch someone who says they're having a very hard time while performing for you. Like, if that sort of thing might upset you. I could see it upsetting people. Because it's really, moments in it are really fucking intense. And I don't mean fleeting moments. I mean extended, repeated moments are pretty full on, quite honestly. So he's either being very honest, or he's quite good at faking honesty. There's an old line, I don't know who it's originally attributed to, but it's talking about, being a performer and being successful and reaching an audience. And someone gets the advice saying, if you want to reach your audience and touch your audience, what you need is honesty. Once you can fake that, you've got it made. And now I'm going to look that up, see if I can find her. Once you can fake sincerity, the rest is easy. Who's that? Jean Giraudoux. And I see it's also attributed to George Burns. Anyway, let me see. Someone's researched it. Once you can fake that, you've got it made. Secret is just saying, Groucho Marx, Samuel Goldwyn, George Burns have all been credited with this remark. Earliest found by this person was a newspaper column by Leonard Lyons in 1962. The popular Oscar-winning actress Celeste Holm attributed the words to an anonymous theatre actor. Okay, so there's that. What's this one? Wikiquote, Jean Giraudoux. 1882 to 1944. French novelist, essayist, diplomat, and playwright. Typical French. Okay, he's attributed, as quoted in Murphy's Law, Book 2, More Reasons Things Go Wrong by Arthur Block. Similar statements were routine in George Burns. So that would predate the other ones. So this guy was from 1882 to 1944. If he really did coin it, that predates all the other ones. So yes, sincerity. Once you can fake that, you've got it made. It's a social media quote I've seen circulated, joke goes something along the lines like, once I get some more money, lose some weight, get my mental health fixed, and there's this long list of once I do these 10 things, then it's over for you bitches. Which I think is along similar lines, actually. But my personal favorite for misattributed quotes, or at least quotes that are attributed to multiple people, and it's kind of impossible to know who first actually coined it, is good artists copy, great artists steal. That's attributed to so many people, which I fucking love, because that fits in with the saying. If multiple people have said it, I think Pablo Picasso is commonly quoted. Okay, the same site, Quote Investigator. What do they cite? Intriguing precursor appears in an article titled Imitators and Plagiarists, published in the Gentleman's Magazine in 1892. The terminology he said it in a negative way. To imitate was commendable, but to steal was unworthy. And he extolled the work of the poet Tennyson, showed examples that Tennyson constructed his verse using efforts of artistic antecedents as a resource. And he, in this article from the 19th century, said, great poets imitate and improve, small ones steal and spoil. So that's the reverse. So in 1920, T.S. Eliot published a poem, and he suggested to imitate was shoddy and to steal was praiseworthy. A modern incarnation employed by Steve Jobs. The way a poet borrows. Immature poets imitate, mature poets steal. Bad poets deface what they take, good poets make it into something better. 1949, book review columnist in The Atlantic. I was quoting T.S. Eliot. Fiction of young James Joyce, published in 1959. Immature artists borrow, mature artists steal. Esquire published a humorous piece in 1962 where they attributed it to someone called Lionel Trilling. Igor Stravinsky said to me, good composer does not imitate, he steals. So in other words, versions of this have been around for ages. And possibly the most solid early one was T.S. Eliot saying the immature poet imitates, the mature poet plagiarizes. There you go. Abigail, you often say 67% of statistics made up on the spot change the number every time. Yes. Oh, that's a nice one, Annette. Creativity is the art of obscuring your sources. Excellent. There was, again, this is something I've seen on social media. Someone saying they were in a discussion with some guy, and they were basically saying when someone believes stupid shit, it's pointless trying to convince them with facts, like showing them objective facts. Like when people are into conspiracies, showing them objective facts about what they believe is useless because they'll ignore the evidence and stick with their preconceived idea. And this guy said, I don't agree. I think if you show people the evidence, they'll change what they think. And so then she showed this guy 3 different studies that all affirmed that showing someone facts that contradict their held beliefs is unlikely to change them. So she showed him 3 sources and he went, I still think you can change people's mind. So that possibly apocryphal story where she says, you can't change people's minds. He says, yeah, if you show them the truth, they'll change. She showed him the truth that said people don't change. And he said, I still think they do, which was just great. Just great. Yeah, I like that. That's meta stupidity. Yeah, it's weird that we live in this time that, we're losing the concept of a commonly held level of reality. We're just clearly, whoop, there was a little bit of I don't know if you heard that. It was this rumbling, bumbling sound. Yeah, perfect. All right, just got to get a knife and a cutting board, and I'm going to cut this ice up. All right. Just a sec. Because I washed all the cutting boards. Where's an appropriate knife? Bread knife is usually good. Right. And I timed it just right. It hasn't frozen solid, so it's going to be easy to get the impure end piece off. Sexy clear ice time. So just chop that off. So easy. Oh, it's beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. Look at that. Look at that. Sexy clear ice. Okay, I'm going to cut it into 3 pieces. Oh, it's very cold to hold. Got to score it all the way around. And Annette, I take your point about has humanity ever had a commonly held reality? It's never been 100% people agreeing. There we go. One piece of ice. But it's gotten so much worse in the last decade, particularly. 2 decades, probably. The internet. It's the fucking internet. It's absolutely the fucking internet. And I clearly use and love the internet. But still, it's responsible for so much bullshit. Okay, so come on, you fuck. Yes, that's actually, despite my anger there, that's probably the best I've done with breaking it up. Seeing color clear bits of ice. I'm gonna get some plastic things to store them in the freezer. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? Let me use these sandwich bags. 1, 2, 3. Just have to keep them separate so they don't stick to other things. So I'm just going to put each bit of ice in a plastic sandwich bag and put them back in the freezer. Hoorah! Because I might want them tomorrow night. I haven't decided what glass tomorrow night's cocktails are going in. Pretty much decided what cocktails I'm going to make. Right, I'll just put these in the freezer. All right, that in there. All right. Oh, that feels like an accomplishment. All right. Let's do this. Excuse me. Do that. Just go with that. Spilled a bit of water. Soak it up with my coaster. Ooh. Yes, I agree, Abigail. Fuck you, internet. Again, clearly, I love the internet, but it's responsible for so much fucking bullshit. Deep sigh. So, and for an example of what I'm saying, we're talking about, has humanity ever had a commonly held reality? If in the 80s, every scientific piece of research into a particular phenomena, let's say global warming, if every piece of peer-reviewed science going into it said unequivocally, human-caused climate change is real, it's dangerous, bordering on catastrophic, broadly speaking, there wouldn't have been people saying that's not real. What do they know? It would have been like, okay, like if literally all the scientists who are qualified and who've done the study say this is real, it's going to be real, as opposed to the insanity we have now. And like anti-vaxxers, there's always been people who, have been suspicious of medical authorities in the past, but the deranged level to which anti-vaxxers have taken hold in the last couple of decades, that's fucking weird. That's the type of thing I mean. That and when you have, the administration of the President of the United States deliberately and openly fabricating information and saying anyone who contradicts them is the one who's making shit up. Even when, like, you can fucking prove who's making it up, when very powerful people focus considerable effort into undermining the very concept of truth and reality. S&P Very Corey, bubblegum drinks tonight is actually just here. Did you say it? That's bubblegum vodka. That's a vodka that had Bazooka Joe bubblegum impregnated in it. Or if you don't like that, I've got this bright yellow one that I made. That's a clarified Woodson and Ford cocktail, which I really like. And this one is raspberry vodka. That's vodka that had raspberries in it. Actual real raspberries, as opposed to lollies. And that's white rum that had raspberries in it. And this one, this brightly coloured one, is one I actually bought. Someone else made this. It's a cocktail they call the Tempest. It's a tropical fruity cocktail. So I do have many brightly coloured drinks here. Thank you very much. Cool. Abigail, I might have impregnated something. I don't know. Safa with the binge headline. Ash Barty retired from the French Open. Did she have an injury? So Annette, Wooly sent you 2 lime juice bottles instead of the lemon juice. So you're gonna have to drink. You'll just have to drink margaritas. You've got some gin, don't you? Do some gimlets as well. Gin, lime juice, and sugar syrup is a fucking great drink. A gimlet. You know what I was looking for? I was looking because I looked to see what was on special in the supermarkets this week, and Coles had advertised they had blood limes. Now, I've seen blood oranges before. They're like oranges where the flesh and the juice is red. I'd never heard of blood limes, but they advertised them on the website. But my local supermarket didn't have them. So and they're expensive, but I can afford to get them once. So I'm going to try and find blood limes because I'm fascinated by them. And Corey, I've been keeping an eye on that stuff you've been doing with your 3D motion capture stuff. That's really cool. You're always finding these things. You're always doing these cutting edge things. I'm really keen to see what you do with the 3D motion capture stuff. Good way to quickly do sketches. Been doing VTuber streams. Where do you do streams? What platform? Because I honestly, even though I'm streaming now, I don't watch many streams. Yeah, because again, a lot of the people who do streams that I'm interested in are in completely different time zones. Oh, nice. Bunch of things coming for short films, building tools for creators. You always have other creators in mind. It's another thing that I really like. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, Corey, SMP Films has been playing with this 3D motion capture animation and having a bit of fun playing with it. And it's really, really interesting stuff. So it's worth checking out. Sorry, I was just checking something on YouTube while we were talking. Yep. Okay. Good on you, YouTube. Sorry, YouTube is just making stuff more difficult. This is me. Look at the latest Instagram post. That's the new model. All right. I'm going to quickly look. I'm going to show it on here because I don't want to. Actually, I don't know if there's content match for Instagram. What's happening? Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, the zombie model. I saw the still of the zombie model on Facebook. Oh, yeah, it's a still. Okay, not that it'll probably show up very well, but that's what Corey's talking about as a 3D motion captured zombie model. All right. Yeah, probably not going to show up very well. But this guy has been in some of the videos Corey's been posting. So much fun. So much fun. Oh my god. Sorry. I actually searched SMP films on uh, uh, Instagram so I'd find it. And the other things under search, there's SMP Australia. I thought, oh, is that a Australian fan of Corey's? But no, that stands for scalp micropigmentation. SMPs, not simple-minded people. It's scalp micropigmentation. There you go. Oh, SMP films. I don't know, man. COVID really took away my desire to do the angry stuff. Oh, and hello, Stella, by the way. You did make it before the end of the stream. I just, and the more I think about it, it's like the way YouTube is now, me continuing to do that is all downside for me on our upside. But you were talking about my drinks. I started a cocktail channel during lockdown. Angry cocktails. Used to see some great drinks on angry cocktails. So that's actually been the most creative thing I've done for the last year. And I started streaming like 4 or 5 nights a week during lockdown to try and keep everyone company through these crazy times. So I've been streaming on this channel, and I started a brand new channel to make cocktails about a year ago. So the creativity comes from the cocktail stuff. Just the fun and relaxation and hanging out is on the streams. Although I have been thinking of, and this idea is going to stew for a while, I'll eventually act on it. It's like some pseudo animation, just using some of my editing software to manipulate the imagery on videos so it looks very cartoony. It's probably coming. I'll probably do it eventually, but we'll see. Because I also got a new, I got a new GoPro because it was on this big special, and I thought, I bet if I get one, I'll find something to do with it. So I might do something with the GoPro soon as well. Abigail, you thought SMP was symmetric multi-processing, technique used to write multi-threaded apps, take advantage of multi-CPU, multi-core processors. Maybe. It's a big and varied world. So yeah, thanks for dropping in, Corey, by the way. And Chris, you just want to get a remote video editing job. Nice. Matt, you did check out the cocktail channel last night. Thanks. Glad you like it. It's coming along. The first while was kind of low production values and hadn't quite worked out what I want to do. And I've much more so now. And I'll be shooting next week's videos on tomorrow night's live stream. And not that you'll really be able to tell from the live stream, but I'm thinking of doing some stuff a bit differently. Notably, just because one of the drinks I want to make is one I'm inventing, modeled on a fairly well-known drink called the Alabama Slammer. And I want to do an Australian version called the Tamarama Door Slammer. Oh, God, time differences. Corey's just off to take the kids to school. Have a good day, man. Thanks for dropping in. It's really nice to see you. Matt, what I normally do, because I got into the rhythm, I like putting up 3 cocktail videos a week. I normally shoot them on the live stream on Friday night, and then I progressively edit them to have them up on YouTube the next week. And I've just found that works for me. I do them because the Friday stream's usually between 4 and 6 hours long. So that gives me a lot of time to make drinks and get drunk. So yeah, I usually shoot during the live stream. If it's just me on here, everyone gets to see behind the scenes. If I've got the angry bunch happening and there's a bunch of people on, I normally switch my microphone off and let everyone else keep talking while I'm shooting the video. I think that might be a bit more engaging. But yeah, so I have an idea. My version of an Alabama slammer is going to be a Tamarama door slammer. Oh, Matt, you want to make them along with me? Tomorrow night, the cocktails are going to be... okay. I know what one of them is. One of them that I haven't tried, but it looks really good, is called an Angel's Face, and that is gin, apple brandy, and apricot liqueur. Don't know if you have those things. Tamarama Door Slammer is going to be a version of an Alabama Slammer. Alabama Slammer. What's this version of an Alabama Slammer? So a traditional Alabama Slammer is Southern Comfort, sloe gin, amaretto, and some juices. My version is, because Southern Comfort's a whiskey liqueur, I've got an Australian whiskey liqueur called Slanche. You know, you could use, what's the Scotch? Drambuie. Drambuie is a Scotch liqueur, you know. But the idea is this, it's a whiskey liqueur, a gin liqueur, and a nut liqueur. So I'm going to be doing this, an Australian whiskey liqueur, an Australian gin liqueur, and an Australian macadamia liqueur. And it's going to be pineapple juice and lemon juice. I don't know if you have that. And then I just have to remember what the other ones. Yes, we'll do a Cleveland Steamer one time, Abigail. Which horribly, there are recipes for Cleveland Steamer cocktail. What was the other one I was going to do? It was a gin one, wasn't it? The Purple Rain. I was going to do a Purple Rain martini, where I put my butterfly pea flower extract in, dropping it down so it's like purple rain coming down through the thing. And because I want to fill the martini glass, so it's going to be a big fucking... It's going to be like 3 ounces of gin and 1 ounce of vermouth or an aromatized wine. And then I'm going to drop the butterfly pea flower through it so you get the purple rain. And then maybe put a bit of lemon juice in it to make it change color, because that's what butterfly pea flower extract does. Changes color with it. I'm not going to drink this. I'm going to pee myself. I'm sorry. I just realized it's 10 o'clock. There's only soft drink. I can live with wasting a soft drink. It is bedtime. So Matt, those are the ingredients I'm using tomorrow night. Gin and gin liqueur and whiskey and other things. Yeah, you're about to pass out too, Matt. It is bedtime. It's definitely bedtime. So I'll be making those 3 tomorrow night. The Purple Rain Martini, the Alabama Door Slammer, which does the countdown. That's the one that's going to look different, because I'm going to try and do it because it's a dance track, and it's a classic dance track that has a counting like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take care, y'all. Stella got a whiskey tasting pack. Nice. See you all later. Glee, you just missed Corey by a moment. Your cat sent a love. My cat sent a love to you, Glee. Thank you, one and all. We'll be back tomorrow night. Party night, Angry Bunch night. Have a lot of fun. Take care, you fabulous people. We'll be in for a long stretch tomorrow night. See how we go. Live long and prosper, and